Hi, I'm David Quammen, author of Spillover, author also of a new book, The Tangled Tree, just being published by Adelphi. The Tangled Tree is a book about a new field of science, a field of science I hadn't even heard of myself until 2013. It's got a fancy name. Don't worry about the fancy name. It's called molecular phylogenetics. What does that mean? Well, phylogenetics is tracing family trees. And molecular phylogenetics means using the sequences in long molecules to draw family trees. In particular, this field of science uses the long molecules of genetics, DNA and RNA. This field began in the 1970s with a man named Carl R. Woese, a very interesting scientist, and then it caught on and was used by a number of other scientists to make great discoveries. Discoveries that, for instance, the tree of life is more tangled, more complicated, more surprising, more counterintuitive than most of us would expect. There were surprises. And in particular, there are 3 surprises that I describe in the book. The first surprise came from the work of Carl Woese himself in the 1970s. Everyone had thought there were 2 main kingdoms of life. There was bacteria, and then there was the kingdom of life of complex cells, eukaryotic cells, cells with nuclei, cells with complex interiors that make up all the complex creatures, animals, plants, fungi, you and me. 2 kingdoms of life, bacteria and everything else. Carl Woese discovered there was a 3rd kingdom of life. Not bacteria, not archaea, something not bacteria, not complex creatures, but a 3rd kingdom that he named archaea. They look like bacteria through a microscope, but if you look at their genomes, as he did, you compare their genomes, you discover they are not bacteria at all. There's something completely distinct. The second surprise was a phenomenon called horizontal gene transfer, the fact that genes can move sideways across species boundaries, from one kingdom of life into another, entangling the tree of life. That's where the title of my book comes from. The 3rd surprise is those archaea, that new kingdom of life that I just told you about. Work in this field proved that those creatures are our deepest ancestors. We are descended from the archaea, a kind of form of life that was unknown to exist before 1977. So, 3 surprises. The archaea, a completely new kingdom of life. Horizontal gene transfer, genes moving sideways, tangling the tree. And 3rd, we ourselves are descended from the archaea. All of that may sound abstract and complicated. In the book, I tell the story with people. I tell the story of Carl Woese and the other individual scientists who made these discoveries. Because when people read about science, in my view, people want to read about people doing science. So this is a book of mysteries solved and passions pursued. And I hope you like it.